What's up, ZZ Squad? So as you can see, today's video is going to be quite different compared to the videos in the past, okay? As you can see, we are wearing our Black Entertainment Matters because to some or a particular platform, our entertainment doesn't matter. I'm speaking towards the Kids app, YouTube Kids app. But before we go into the YouTube Kids app and the battle that we have been going through with them for the past 2 to 3 years, I think it's important for us to share with you all our reasoning for starting YouTube in the first place, or why did we start YouTube in the first place, how we start YouTube in the first place. So to start, before YouTube, I was a music educator. I was a band director at Performing Arts School, and my wife, she was
I was in nursing school, so
she was in nursing school.
We were on one income.
I think I was making $22,000 a year after taxes and insurance was taken out.
And our family was growing.
Our family was growing. In 2014, we had 2 boys. I think Xavier, good guy, he was 1, and Zarias, he was around 4 years old. So I wanted to supplement our income. I wanted to supplement our income just in case I need extra money to pay bills, or if I wanted to go on a trip. And our trips were visiting family. Our trips wasn't going to Disneyland and Six Flags. Like our trips was us getting in the car and visiting family. So I wanted to supplement our income, and I discovered that you can earn money from creating videos on YouTube. And I use YouTube all the time to fix things around the house or to learn something. Like I use YouTube all the time.
He did.
Would you rebate?
He did.
All the time. So I wanted to contribute to the platform. I could think of 2 families off the top of my head. Now, SJ Funk, they were a family. It was a father, mother, a son, and they had 2 daughters. And this is back in 2015. Before we was on the platform. They started, I believe they started in 2013. They started in 2013. A black family that had black girls, black sons, creating positive, wholesome content back in 2013. But most people don't know about them because their content was very similar to the content that was already on the platform. There was another family, Heroes and Stuff, that created content before we did, and their content was basically superhero stop motion videos. They created really cool videos of action figures moving by themselves. They spent a lot of time creating content, but they didn't receive the views, or they wasn't as popular as the other families because they were creating similar content to other content that was in their niche. It was super rewarding for me to be able to do that for my son, because I grew up without a father. Like I didn't meet my father until I was 28. So I remember when I was a child, living with my grandparents. My mom, she moved down south, and I stayed with my grandparents. So I didn't have my mom, I didn't have my dad. And I remember seeing my classmates interact with their fathers. I remember when I was in the school bus and I saw my classmate, and he was in his front yard playing with his dad. And I remember how much I wanted that for myself. Unfortunately, I grew up, inner city, and all the challenges that comes with being inner city. Single parent. I didn't have any parents. I had my grandparents.
You had your grandparents.
I had my grandparents, and the poverty, being poor, not having the things that you need, not having the things that you want, seeing others have while you didn't, and other things that happened in the household. So for me at that time, for me to escape those problems that comes with inner city, I remember my grandma, she would give me the toy section in the newspaper. And me seeing other kids, even though it wasn't video, it was pictures, me seeing other kids with these nice toys allow me to escape the problems that comes with inner city. And I don't want to share too much about my personal story, but it allowed me to escape. It allowed me to see other kids play with toys, and it brought joy to my heart. So me seeing that, me wanting to spend time with my dad, me seeing other classmates having fun with their dad. My son, I believe we was in the store, and he had the phone, he had the YouTube, and he was watching these videos of nursery rhymes. Like these nursery rhymes, they weren't mainstream nursery rhymes. Like these nursery rhymes were made by people at home. Like they were singing, they had the animation that they made on the computers, or they would do toy unboxings, or the surprise eggs. These surprise eggs were super huge then, and I was like, you know what? I would love the opportunity for me and my family to create videos similar to this. So after watching, all those surprise toy videos, I was inspired to create our own surprise toys. So me and my wife, we brainstormed and we said, okay, what can we do on the platform that hasn't been done yet within that particular niche? Mm-hmm. So we decided to create the world's biggest toy box. I had built a giant toy box in my garage. It was about 8 feet wide, 9 feet tall, and I had to have my neighbor to move the toy box to the backyard. It was that big. It was super huge, and I had painted the toy box according to the theme of the toy box. So if it was a Iron Man themed toy box, I painted yellow and red. If it was a Hulk themed toy box, I painted green. After designing the toy box, we needed a camera. Even though we had a smartphone, the smartphones at that time, the cameras were garbage. It wasn't like it is today. So,
and remember, we were pressed for money,
right?
We didn't just have it like that.
No, we did not. So I invested $400 on a camera. I bought it from a guy on Craigslist. Mm-hmm. And when I got the camera, I was super duper intimidated because it had all these different buttons and gadgets. So I had to learn everything that we're doing on YouTube. I had to learn how to do it. I didn't know how to edit videos. I didn't even know how to operate a camera. So I had to learn all these things, and I learned all these things from YouTube, watching YouTube videos on how to film and how to edit videos and the whole 9 yards. So
the angles,
the camera angles, the visual special effects. So and our first toy box video was the Iron Man video. Remember that, Zraz? When we did the toy box Iron Man video, that was our very, very first video. How did that make you feel when you was able to come outside and see that giant toy box, and you was able to pull all the toys out of the toy box? How did that make you feel?
Happy.
You felt happy? What else?
It was super fun.
It was super fun.
The toys I was playing with, mm-hmm. It was fun to take them out.
Uh-huh.
I can't remember that day no more, so.
You don't remember as much from that day, but you do remember taking the toys out. It allowed me to relive those fantasies that I had as a child through my son by creating a giant toy box and allowing him to pull out toys out of the toy box, and how he smiled and how happy he was and how happy I was to see him being happy, and the interaction, the genuine interaction between son and father meant everything to me. So I wanted to create content for boys and girls to have an opportunity to escape, because just like me, there's other boys and girls. For example, like right now, we're going through an epidemic. We're going through the coronavirus on top of the racial situation that we're going through, and kids being in the house or can't go certain places because of the world problems, or can't see family. You know, our videos allow kids to escape those problems,
and just be kids,
and also to join us in our adventures in our videos, or for example the toy box that they can watch. They can see a father and a son, you know, having fun and playing with toys, and be able to escape those problems for 5 or 10 minutes at a time. So back in 2014, our son, he discovered these videos, but you know, there's very little representation on the platform. So even though we created this cool video, and in my mind I thought we were gonna get millions and millions of views from that Iron Man toy box video, we saw zero views for a while, for like 2-3 days. Then after that, you know, got like 100 views and maybe 1,000 views. And after that, you know, we created other toy box videos, the Iron Man toy box video, the Spider-Man toy box video, the Iron Man toy box video, along with other toy box videos. But we was not getting the traction that I was hoping for.
Yeah.
And the reason why we weren't getting the traction that we wanted, the reason why It's J Funk wasn't getting the traction, or Heroes and Stuff wasn't getting the traction, because the content that we were creating was very similar to everyone else. Like we wasn't standing above the crowd. And one thing I learned being a black man is that we have to work harder. We have to work harder, and we have to be above others in order to be recognized.
Yep. We're doing the same job.
Like we have to go above and beyond to just get an opportunity. So even though our content was just as good as everyone else,
it wasn't good enough for us to stand alone.
It wasn't good.
We got
enough.
lost in the sauce.
We got lost in the sauce. And so with that being said, me and my wife, you know, we brainstorm. You know, we look at the content, we looked at the videos that was on the platform. We identified the top players on the platform in the kids vertical, and we said to ourselves, okay, what's working for them, and what is missing from their content? What is missing from the kids vertical? At the time, my mom, she wanted to be in the video. My niece wanted to be in the video, and my little cousins wanted to be in the video. So I said, okay, what can we do that's different? So one day I was watching I think I was on YouTube, and before I was able to watch a video just like everyone else, you have to watch an ad. And there was an ad of Avengers. There was an Avengers commercial. At the time, Avengers was coming out. It was getting superheroes, were getting popular in videos and movies. So there was a Avengers commercial. It's a toy ad. And the Avenger characters were not adults. They were kids dressed in Halloween costumes. So you had a Hulk dude dressed in a Halloween costume. You had another dude that dressed in the Thor costume. So the light bulbs went off. I had purchased costumes for our toy box videos, like the Hulk toy box and the Spider-Man and those other characters. And keep in mind, you know, our funds was limited, so I had to figure out how can I recycle these costumes. So I decided to create a parody, an Avengers parody. I didn't see any kid channels that had kids as superheroes, but not only superheroes, they had visual effects, special effects, you know, the kids flying in the sky, they had lasers shooting out the eyes, you know, and they're working together as a family, as superheroes, as black boy superheroes, as and black girl superheroes. This was in 2015, and that allowed us to stand above the crowd. that allowed us to gain traction. So I saw that commercial. I saw the commercial of these superhero kids, and I watched YouTube videos of Ismo Hawk, and they had the superheroes, and they had the visual effects, but these were adults. I didn't know how to recreate these special effects. I spent hours and hours and hours learning how to create these visual effects because I saw the vision, and I wanted this so much for our kids. I wanted it so much for the world to see black boys, black girls, a black family being superheroes, saving the day with all the cool special effects that you see in movies. So I learned how to recreate these visual effects from YouTube, from watching other YouTube creators. Big shouts out to Film Riot. You know, I watch their videos all the time on how to create these visual effects, and also a big shout out to Film Learning. I watch his videos as well, and those two channels, along with other channels, allow me to gain the education that I needed to create these visual effects and special effects that was missing from the kids vertical. Like I said before, we had superhero, we had adult channels that were creating superhero videos with the special effects and visual effects, but there were no kids.
But not only that, like the videos that you created taught the children personal lessons in just believing in yourself, or never let anybody tell you can't do something. So I thought that was another big thing that you put into those videos.
And it's important for the kids to get that message. And not only that, not only did they receive that message, but it's important for the world to see black boys, black girls, a black family working together and being good, because in other media platforms
we don't get that.
We're taught that we're bad, or you see the news, we're constantly
It's always negative.
It's always negative. It's always negative content when it comes to seeing us, and we want to show the world that we're not that. There's black families that are not that. Majority of us are not like that. So us having this type of content on the platform opened up doors for other people to see that, hey, we got a black family that's creating these cool videos. I can create cool videos too. So not only did we create superhero videos, but we also recreated our favorite family movies that we saw, during our childhood. For example, we recreated Jumanji. Yeah. Remember that video, Jumanji's Rise? You guys recreated. You was on a T-Rex. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
Or what's another one, babe?
Gremlins.
We created Gremlins.
Power Rangers.
Oh yeah. So before there was we created Power Ranger videos. We created a Power Ranger parody video where I was Zordon, you was
Red Power Ranger.
You were Red Power Ranger, and your cousins were Zakaya.
Zakaya was pink.
She was a Pink Ranger.
Tete was black,
and your other cousin, she was
Maya was blue.
The Blue Ranger. Now keep in mind that this was back in 2015 or early 2016 that we did this. So we recreated our favorite family movies. Also, we recreated Pokemon too. Remember Pokemon?
Oh
that was
yeah,
a big
the
one.
Pokemon zombie one.
Not the Pokemon zombies, but the Pokemon Go.
Yeah.
Remember that video?
And that was popular when the game was popular too. The Pokemon game.
Yeah, it was.
Mm-hmm. Even the show.
The show. Mm-hmm. So with ZZ Kids T, we started to build traction, and eventually our income started to increase to the point that I said, you know what? I probably need to stop teaching right now and focus more on building my business, because I want to be more independent. I love teaching. I love teaching my students the instruments. We made Superior Raising at Concert Festival, made the top chairs at All West Festival. So I taught at Performing Arts School. So we were the top band, middle school performing art band in Memphis, but I wanted to work for myself. You know, I didn't want to have to answer to my principal. I didn't want to ask him for permission for me to go see my son at school for lunch. You know, I didn't want to have to ask for permission to be call off for sick when I'm not feeling well. You know, I wanted to be my own boss, and we had the income to support our family so that I can do that. So 2016,
Yes.
Xander was a baby. We just had a brand new baby.
Yes.
And I decided to stop teaching and focus on YouTube.
Matter of fact, I don't even think I was at the hospital with him yet.
No, you
when
wasn't.
you made that.
No, you wasn't. She didn't even have Xander yet, and I put in my papers because I wanted to feel free. You know, when I did that first year, not teaching and being at home creating videos, I felt so free. Like I didn't have to, you know, I didn't have to get up at certain times. I didn't have to stay after school for PTS meetings or whatever. You know, I was my own boss. Mm-hmm. You know, so when I retired and stayed at home to create videos, at the time we only had ZZ Kids TV. Zarias and my nieces and my cousins, they were still in school. Mm-hmm. So I'm at home, Tiffany, she's at home, and our boys are at home. And I'm trying to figure out, okay, how can I expand my brand? You know, how can I expand my brand and grow on the platform? So I did more reflecting on my life. I remember the stories that I created in the basement when I was, you know, on punishment. For misbehaving in school or misbehaving in the house, I would have to go in the basement, and I would just stay there in the basement either for a couple of days. I think the longest I was in the basement was a week. And I wanted to come up. I wanted to be with my family. I wanted to be with my grandparents. I wanted to be with my sister and brother, but I couldn't because I was on punishment. And I didn't have anything to do downstairs in the basement. It was super scary, super dark. It was kind of damp. I would create these stories and fantasize about having my mom with me. You know, fantasize about her picking me up and taking me to the store, or fantasize about her teaching me the colors, or I would fantasize about having a dad and my dad play with me with the cars and toys. So I create these stories so I can escape and be free from the basement. Even though I didn't have my mom during my early child years, my mom came and got me from my grandparents when I was around 9. My mom, she's very loving, she's very caring. She's a sweetheart. She helps anybody that needs help. And I love her for everything that she had done for me and my brothers and sisters. I wanted to recreate those stories that I created in the basement with my wife and son. I wanted to live those fantasies that I had with my wife and son, and that's what we did. We created Goo Goo Colors. You know, we looked at the educational vertical on YouTube, and we identified the key players. Mm-hmm. We noticed what was present in those videos, and we figured out what was missing. We figured out how can we add value on the platform by being different. What can we do in our videos that hasn't been done before in videos that's on the platform already? And we took what we learned from ZZ Kids TV about being different, by being unique, and being able to stand out so that we can be noticed and recognized on the platform. And we created Goo Goo Colors. So for example, you know, my son, he would have his magic wand and he would magically appear a portal, and he would push the shopping cart and himself through the portal, and he would go shopping for healthy food options. You don't find it elsewhere. No. Or my son, he would take out balloons and blow up balloons and pop the balloon, and his face would change colors. And the kids would learn the colors that way. Or while my son and wife is shopping, they would learn to choose healthy food options. We had talking fruits. We turned our house into Chuck E. Cheese, Disney World.
Even when we ate ice cream on Goo Goo Colors, Our face changed colors.
The face changed colors, and the kids learn the colors that way. Or Lonnie McQueen would lose his wheel, and he asks Goo Gaga for help, and he tells Goo Gaga to find the magic letters around the house to spell the word tool. And throughout the entire video, my son asking kids, how do you spell, what's the first word in the word tool? Then he asked them how to pronounce the word.
Yep, so you learn the phonics of it all. And then you're learning
how to recognize it.
Sight words that kids have to learn all over the world.
That's right. So we'll have those type of videos on our channel to educate kids in a fun way, to keep them engaged. We also had like the morning routines.
Yep.
That teach the kids, okay, what you do when you first get up. You know, what's the second step? What's the third step? You know, and a lot of parents really appreciate that because their child is watching our videos and they're learning these morning routines and they are implementing these morning routines into their daily routine. I think we had a parent that had an autistic child.
We had a couple of parents that had autistic children that were nonverbal, and they were told that their kid would never be able to speak. And from watching videos, they learned how to pick up From watching our videos, they learned how to pick up their own morning routines and how to say simple words to their parents. And these parents were told that they would never speak. So
these parents were told that their kids would never speak.
Yeah, that their kids would never speak. So, you know, it's very important, and you can tell how that impacted those families.
So with our videos, it's all about the viewer. It's all about adding value to the kids and families that watch our videos. We want the children, we want the parents to have an experience within Goo Goo Colors or within ZZ Kids TV that they won't experience elsewhere on the platform. And that's how Goo Goo Colors was able to grow over 1 million subscribers in less than a year. In less than a year, Goo Goo Colors had 1 million subscribers because the parents recognized the value within our content. And of course, just like, you know, ZZ Kids TV, the content that we was creating within that particular vertical, within the educational vertical, there wasn't any representation.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't black families creating educational content. The content that was being created was of people that didn't look like us. Mm-hmm. However, there were cartoons that they would add, you know, black faces in the cartoons, but it wasn't black families creating these content. So there was like very little to none representation of black families, black children within the educational entertainment vertical for kids. So we noticed that, and we wanted to add value and create content so that kids from all over the world can watch a black boy, can watch a black mother interact with each other, teaching the colors, teaching numbers, teaching how to spell words, using their imagination to turn their house into
Chuck E.
Cheese or
Disney World.
Disney World or whatever the case may be. You know, so we felt as though it was our duty to create content so that all kids can have representation on the platform, including brown and black kids. So since creating Goo Goo Colors and ZZ Kids TV, we have grown and expanded our brand on the YouTube platform. We wanted to continue to elevate our content. We wanted to continue to be unique. So we decided to create mascots. We have mascots in our videos now with blinking eyes that were made by a professional puppet company. We have animations. We put together a team of animators to create really good, high quality cartoons for families all over the world. We have puppets that we haven't released yet. We have puppets that we plan on putting in our videos. We have children books that we plan on releasing. We have a website, googoocolors.com. We have expanded from YouTube onto other social media platforms like Instagram and Facebook. Man, I remember back in 2018, we had a meet and greet and we had over 600 families from all over the world to come over to travel to Atlanta to meet their favorite YouTubers, Goo Colors, ZZ Kids TV, Nia and Ellie, Onyx Family. We had over 600 families that filled the room to meet us, and we gave out free gifts to show our appreciation of them supporting us on the platform. Our growth is due to us being inspired by parents wanting more of our content, and we wanted to target different demographics. So we also created Goo Goo Girls. Goo Goo Girls target the girl demographics. So we created an empire. We created an empire, and we purposely did it so that we can show the world that we're more than what you're making us out to be. We're not criminals. We're not thugs. We're not deadbeat dads. We're not single parent mothers. Okay? Baby mamas. We are wholesome, loving families. And we work together to not only build each other up, but we work together to inspire other people. Not just black or brown people, but people of all color, of all over the world. We have had celebrities, hip hop stars, gave us a shout out in their music videos. We have real estate investors that watch that their children watches our videos. We have the common people, everybody.
Yeah.
From all different types of walk of life, from different professions, from different careers, from different backgrounds, from different colors, from different ethnicities,
different countries. So we made sure that we stay compliant with YouTube policies, especially when it comes to creating content for kids, because this is a business for us. You know, this is a business for this is how we pay our bills, and more importantly, we create content for kids. We want safe content for our son. Like we are parents. We are parents ourselves. And our kids, they watch videos on YouTube. And we want them to watch videos that are safe and appropriate for kids. So that's exactly what we did. We created content that was safe and appropriate for kids. We created content so that parents can feel at ease knowing, okay, if they're watching Goo Goo Colors, they're going to learn something. And they're going to be entertained. So about 3 years ago, we started to get messages from our parents.
Even our subscribers.
Yeah, our subscribers, our parents, through Instagram, Facebook, or just comments below YouTube, before YouTube took away the comments. And they would say, hey, why are you guys not on the Kids app? Because we were on the Kids app. And the parents let us know, because I didn't know we wasn't on the Kids app.
Right.
I thought we were still on the Kids app until the parents sent us emails and messages stating that
they couldn't find us.
Stating that they couldn't find us on the Kids app.
Because we wasn't on there.
Then we got back on the Kids app. Then they took us off the Kids app. Then we stayed off the Kids app.
Yeah.
Working behind the scenes, talking to YouTube, pleading with YouTube on why not only our content, but why other black families' content were taken off of the Kids app. Because at first we thought it was just our content. Yeah. Then we was talking to our other black families, and they said, yeah, our content was taken off of YouTube too. So we're just lost on why we're not on the Kids app. Our content is for kids. Our content is unique. Our content is of high quality. It's of high quality. We spend a lot of time editing the videos so that our content is at a high standard above others. So we're not understanding why our content, along with other black families that are creating wholesome content for kids, why is not on the platform? With our high quality content, with us brainstorming and being unique and having elements in our videos that are unique and that children won't be able to experience elsewhere other than Goo Goo Colors. We had other families that had watched our videos and have been inspired by the elements that we have in our videos, and now they are using those elements from our videos within their videos. So you will see families' faces change colors, or you will see families using magic wands and making things appear or disappear. So if we are inspiring other YouTube families, and those exact same YouTube families that are inspired by our content is on the Kids app, if we can inspire them to use our
techniques,
to use some of our techniques and some of our elements in our videos, and they use it in their videos, and they on the Kids app and we're not on the Kids app, that's kind of hurtful to us, because it's like seeing another family telling our stories on the Kids app, but it's not us telling our stories. It's another family that's using some of the elements within Google Colors within their own videos.
Yeah, it's like we're not good enough to tell our own story,
but other people are. I would like for our content, along with other Black families' content, to be on a YouTube Kids app, so that when our kids and any other kid of color go on the platform, they have representation of themselves. Not just white families, not just Asian families. Like I said, YouTube is a reflection of the world. The Kids app needs to reflect that. The Kids app needs to reflect the faces of this planet Earth that we all live on. So we have 4 channels, and they, not all of them, but most of them target different demographics. Google Colors, Google Tunes target the same demographic. Google Girls target a whole completely different demographic. That's targeting girls. And ZZ Kids TV is targeting families and general audience. So you have all these channels that target different demographics, and none of those channels are on the Kids app. They were on the Kids app, but they were taken off the Kids app. People watch our videos from all over the world, but now kids that want to watch our videos, parents that don't want to send their child to the native YouTube app and they want to send their child on the Kids app, the kids won't be able to see us because we're not on the Kids app anymore. Not on the app, but YouTube advertises the Kids app on each of our videos. Right below our videos, YouTube advertise the Kids app. Try YouTube Kids. So if we wasn't made for kids, you wouldn't see that marketing in the videos. But since we are made for kids, we have that marketing. Try YouTube Kids under every video. So when the kids or the family download the Kids app, thinking they're about to watch
see the video.
Google Colors or ZZ Kids TV or any other Black family, they don't. Like I said before, you have to scroll. You have to scroll for days. Like you have to scroll for a long time before you see a Black face. And when you do see a Black face, it's not of a Black family. It's either mainstream or it's a cartoon.
One particular character.
Yeah, one particular character. So Susan Wojcicki, she created a post. I will leave the link in the description below. You can read this post here. But YouTube just pledged a $100 million fund to support Black creators on this platform, while also vowing to tackle harassment. Okay, so I'm not going to read this entire article. This is from Business Insider. Like I said before, I will leave a description below. In the not leave a description below.
No, you're gonna leave the link below.
I'm gonna leave the link below in the description. But anyway, I'm not gonna read all of it. But it says YouTube has announced a multi-year $100 million fund dedicated to amplifying and developing the voices of Black creators on the platform. Okay. In the blog post, YouTube CEO Susan Wojcicki said YouTube was committed to doing better as a platform and recognize it must do more. Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole post, but at the very beginning it says amplifying and developing the voices of black creators. We already had a voice. We have, like I said before, we have over 3 billion views. 3 billion views worldwide. We have over 7 million subscribers, and the bulk of those views and the bulk of those subscribers are on Google Colors. So we already have a voice. Okay. Furthermore, if you could go down to the bottom, it says, now this is from Susan. At YouTube, we believe Black Lives Matter, and we all need to do more to dismantle systemic racism, wrote by Wojcicki in her letter. So dismantle systemic racism. If you go on to the kids app,
you don't see no black faces.
You don't see black faces.
Until you're scrolling, until you see a black face.
I mean, to be honest, to me, that's an example of systemic racism. To me, that's an example of systemic racism, because you are allowing some to be on the platform and excluding others. Okay, so let's go down some more. It says here, building on our work over the past several years, we're taking this moment to examine how our policies and products are working for everyone, but specifically for the black community, and close any gaps, she wrote. You created the gap. Black families, like we're the top black family YouTubers. We're now on the platform. We create content for different demographics. We got Google Girls that serves a different demographics. You got Google Colors, which serves the early childhood learning a demographic. You got ZZ Kids, which is more like a general audience for family and kids. We serve different audiences, but none of our content is on YouTube, along with other black families. So you're not closing any gaps. You created a gap, and more broadly, we will work to ensure black users, artists, and creators can share their stories and be protected from hateful white supremacists and bullying content. We appreciate that, but you can't see our stories on the kids app. You can't protect our stories if there's no stories to be protected.
Right.
So YouTube is the latest company to pledge money towards fighting racial injustice. You don't need $100 million to flick a switch and put the black families on the kids app. Like you don't need $100 million for that. We'll be glad to take your money, but you don't need $100 million to just flick a switch. If you flick the switch to turn the black families off, you can flick a switch to turn the black families back on. Year after year after year, you got more and more and more black families creating content, but we have less black families on the platform compared to 2 years ago. In another article by Social Media Today, there's a quote from Wojcicki. It says, "We have always been proud that we are a platform that celebrates a broad and diverse set of voices, and we have implemented many policies and product features to protect our communities, but we recognize we need to do more, in particular with the black community. We have always been proud that we are a platform that celebrates a broad and diverse set of voices." How is that so? How are you showing that in the kids app? How are you showing a diverse and broad range of voices in the kids app? Cause remember, I said you got to stroll for days. Download the app yourself. I'm not lying. You can see it yourself. You're gonna stroll for days. Your thumb right here is gonna get about that bigger once you finish exercising your thumb.
It's going.
Another quote from her from Social Media Today, in the Social Media Today article. Another quote from YouTube CEO Susan says that, "I'm committed to listening to black employees at YouTube, to black creators, to black artists, to leaders in the black community, and to black users who tune in to YouTube every day. There is much work to do to advance racial equity in the long term, and these efforts will continue in the months and years ahead." We don't want you to be committed to listening.
We need some action.
We need action. And also, like I said before, we're supposed to have some meetings, and we never had those meetings. So it shows how much YouTube is committed. But we don't want you to be committed to listening. I mean, we're not music, okay? We're not just doing this to just be doing this. We're not speaking out to just be speaking out. We're speaking out for you to take action, not just listen. It shows how much you are committed to listening, but you're not committed to taking action. So that's pretty much it from that article. So basically, we want to be on the kids app, especially now.
To be on the kids app,
especially now, right?
Yes.
Because right now with the COVID-19 epidemic and the racial issues that we're facing to this day, kids being at home, they need to escape. They need a way to escape. And being on a kids app allows them to escape in a safe environment, in a safe platform. Because now parents, they want their children to watch Google Colors. They want their children to watch ZZ Kids TV.
They want their kids to watch Google Tunes. But in order for the families, in order for the kids to watch us, they have to go on to
the main
the native YouTube platform, which is not really safe for kids. Either the kids get served inappropriate ads, or the kid might start off on a family or kids channel, but somehow navigates away from that. So our children, our families need to have a safe platform to visit so that they can see a representation of themselves on the platform, versus the parent have to put their child on the native YouTube app versus the kids app. That's unfair to the parents. And that's why we have tons and tons of messages, emails from the parents, because the parents want their children to watch Google Colors. Not just because we're black, but because of the value of the content, the value that the content brings to the child and to the parent.
Yes. I mean, we've had some families that have children that are autistic, and their autistic children have learned routines through us that are nonverbal, that are speaking words, that are saying simple things to their parents now when they were told that they would never be verbal at all, just from watching our videos.
Mm-hmm. So when it was my birthday, when we was at a restaurant, this girl who watches our YouTube channel, she eat every single vegetable that is healthy. And
she got it from the Google Color, and I remember that day because the mom told us that she was about to eat a pizza, and her daughter told her, "No, mama, pizza's not healthy for you." She said, "Goo goo, mom." So they were role playing the child was role playing a segment from our videos during that real life experience. The mom was about to eat pizza, and the child said, "Goo goo, mom." Is pizza healthy? Because they get that from our videos. That's the type of value they get from our videos.
And that's a good value the kids need to get educated
and to have entertainment at the same time. So fans, celebrities, anybody, everybody, Black lives matter. Black entertainment matters. And we need your support to spread that message. Okay, we have created a petition. We have the link of the petition in the description below. But basically the petition reads, a little over a year ago, YouTube decides to delete top black YouTube families from the Kids app. It's already not many black families creating family content. YouTube decides to delete and keep others. Of course, we don't receive payment from being on the Kids app. The problem is that we create videos for kids and family. We have a huge global audience, and yet we are not on the Kids app. We have been creating kids and family content since 2015. Some of the YouTube families that are currently on the Kids app have been inspired by ZZ Kids TV, Goo Colors, and other top black YouTube families. To make things worse, there are channels on the YouTube Kids app that are literally not made for kids. Why can't we be on the platform? Why were we taken off of the YouTube Kids app? If you believe all kids should have representation on media platforms like YouTube Kids app, please sign this petition. Also, you can support Black Entertainment Matters by purchasing a shirt, Black Entertainment Matters. Parents, the link is in the description below, and all proceeds will be donated to Black Lives Matter movement.
Yes.
Also, if you purchase a shirt, you can post a picture of it with your kids on our Instagram page, and you can use our hashtag Black Entertainment Matters, and you can tag us in the picture as well. So if you do decide to purchase a shirt for yourself or for your kids, or if you want to purchase some blue color shirts or whatever, to support this, just take a picture, share it on Instagram or Facebook. Also, Tyler Perry, T.I., Mike, any celebrity, we need your support to amplify our voice, and get the message out that our kids need a safe environment to watch black families. Our kids deserve to have a representation on the Kids app.
And we just people.
We are people. We are human beings. And our lives matter. Our entertainment matter.
I matter. I matter. I matter.
I matter.
I matter.
We matter.
Peace.